Can you do it first, actually?
Well, I mean,
yeah, I want to watch you do it first.
Okay.
I feel like that makes me feel better.
Yeah, in short, for anybody who doesn't know me, I'm 23. I'm a video editor, videographer, kind of. I don't really consider myself a videographer, but a photographer. Graphic design. I started off doing graphic design first, actually. I did it right out of high school.
How unprofessional.
Yeah, so coming out of high school, I started working with a basketball media company named In the Lab. 10,000 Hours was their series. A lot of people know it. Usually when I say 10,000 Hours, people know who it is. But worked with them for 3.5 years coming out of high school. Attended college for technically a year as an online art institute. Dropped out. So I'm a college dropout. That sounded a lot more harsh than I thought it would. I am a college dropout, though. I just don't think about the thought of me even going to college.
Feels like a fever dream,
yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, it's really weird. Which I'll tell that. I was about to say why I dropped out of college, but I'll save that story for next time we shoot. But yeah, so coming out of that, I worked for a startup based out of Columbus, Ohio, named eFuse. I was a full-time video editor. It was a technology startup, but there was a lot of really big celebrities that invested in it. Seth Curry, Steph Curry's brother, Braxton Miller, he was an investor. Odell Beckham Jr., he was an investor in that company as well. Then I was laid off a partial scam. Then I did freelance for a year, which was fun, and I recently just started working for another company as a marketing specialist or video specialist. In terms of freelance work, I've worked for a lot of people. During the COVID time, if you watched any basketball park runs, which were really big then, unless it was like Ball is Life directly, I probably had my hand in something that you watched. I worked with 20 plus basketball creators, helped a lot of people amass millions of views. That's kind of the general scope of everything that I've done. Now I edit videos, I stream, which shameless plug, I'm definitely gonna put it right here since I edit and I can control what goes in. But yeah, and that's pretty much the big scope of who I am, because my whole life has been content. So
you should drop that right there. That was good.
What?
I mean, everything, all your accolades and.
Well, I've had to do that in interviews.
Oh, fair. I'm Kristen Torres. I'm a 23-year-old curly hair specialist. I originally graduated from cosmetology school during COVID and assisted at the salon that I'm currently at to this day. I have been licensed now for 4 years. In my first year, I actually won a hair award for texture and curls, which is, of course, what I specialize in. And since then, I've had a few notable mentions, been Stylist of the Month a couple times for brands. And
brands?
I had Verb and Modern Salon recently. I just recently made the 100 Stylist for their Modern Salon 100 years this year. What else? What?
I almost said some wild shit. I forgot what we're doing.
It threw me off. What else have I done? I feel like I've done more. I feel like probably one of my biggest things currently is in January of this year, I had my first viral video, hit 12.9 million views, still climbing to this day, actually. And since then, I've had a really good string of viral videos focused on styling curly hair and my specific techniques with brands. And since then, I have been consistently growing on TikTok. Despite the multiple hiatuses I've decided to take. And currently we are going through and doing more series and working with more brands. So hoping to go on a brand trip soon.
I feel like you could have went in a little bit more about the trip you took for the award you won, but I'll do, I guess. But so pretty much the general scope of what we're doing is nothing groundbreaking. Is not very like a pioneer thing. We're pretty much just gonna mix things that guys care about and what women care about, and kind of just talk about them, but in a pretty casual way. Like I said, it's nothing you haven't seen before, if I'm being honest. But it'll probably be a lot more casual and feel a lot more like an actual conversation instead of scripted, at least for me. So that's pretty much the lay of the land. I mean, besides that, we're not doing no big introduction in terms of our whole backstory. We can get to that one day, but for now, we're gonna act like we've made 20 episodes, and we're just gonna go right to the catch.
Yep.
And so the format is she's gonna go first with her topics, and then fellas, I'll come by second after her topics. So watching this on YouTube, I will make sure I make the chapters. So if you're only somebody who's interested in the women topics and hearing her perspective and my perspective on the women stuff, that will be this first part. And then if you check, I will have the fellas topics or my topics I come up with that are more steered towards men. In the second half, this is not a red pill podcast.
Dear God.
We're not doing nothing like that. It's going to be all pretty casual stuff, pop culture stuff you might be wondering, what do they got to say about it? And I'm sure a lot of you disagree with a lot of things we say. So that's fair. But you're up to bat. Ladies first, as you made the good coin.
Ladies first. So my main thing here is going to be I really want to focus on things for the girls and the girly pops, and then getting a guy's perspective. He typically won't really know anything about a lot of the stuff I'm interested in like this, or he might know a couple things about it. And then, like you mentioned, we're going to really try not to go scripted with this. However, I'm going to also really try not to let my ADHD take over here, because I can't tell a story to save my life.
Also, your video voice is hilarious. The moment I hit record, this new inflection you have in your voice that'll take time for you to get adjusted to, but you're inflecting way different. That's not how you regularly talk. Do you hear how relaxed I sound? This sounds like we're having a regular conversation. You're like, my name's Kristen Torres, which I knew that was coming. It's like, but it's just weird me seeing you like that, because now we're going to be sitting here talking for an hour, and hearing your inflections like that for an hour is going to throw me off.
Crap, I don't know.
But while she's getting her topic ready to bring up, my general interest is like rap music, a little bit of R&B, gaming and streaming, NBA stuff, and anything messy in between any of that. I love messy stuff. And technology, we might talk about technology every now and then. But that's more so of where my topics are going to be centered around for the most part.
My topics, on the other hand...
Politics.
And politics.
I don't give a fuck about politics.
I actually really don't want to go crazy political with this, even though, funny enough, my first topic is on the more political side.
Right.
I would say for both of us, like, my topics are really going to focus more, again, on, like, the girly pop stuff of it all. I'm going to be talking about anything from, like, current...
Take a shot every time she says girly pop.
I love the girly pops. Okay, I am a girly pop. I love girly pops. I do it for the girly pops, okay? Somebody's blacked out right now. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to focus on is going to be way more on, like, the girly stuff. I'm going to talk a lot about, you know, anything from, like, my books to current, like, pop culture, a little bit of, like, the drama that's going on. But I will probably throw in a little bit of political stuff. Nothing too crazy, but just, like, here and there, little tidbits of it, because I am interested in politics as well. So, but again, we are not doing any crazy red pill, left, right, just very in the middle, just very much bringing up the topics that I think are very pop culture.
Yeah, if you think you're coming over here for some crazy Jurassic views, this is not the right spot. I'm definitely going to say some stuff that a lot of y'all aren't going to agree with, because I'm not like you new age people. But nothing that you're... anything that initially you thought of off of me saying that, it's not that.
Okay, so first topic for me is going to be a Love Island one. So Love Island is a reality TV dating show. I've never watched them before. I'm not...
Brain rot.
Kind of, yeah. I'm not really into reality shows. However, this past season absolutely blew up on the internet. It was the biggest one. This is Love Island USA. Everybody absolutely fell in love with a lot of the characters on there and a lot of the people that came off of it. And there was a lot of drama around it, because the way Love Island works is this is a live show. So they film it one day, we get it the next day on TV, everything. So this is all happening within 24 hours, give or take. So One of the original members of this, her name was Hannah. She was an original member of the villa on this most recent season. She was absolutely dragged online while she was in the villa and right after she got out because of her makeup. Everybody was dragging her because a lot of the people that go on these reality shows, they're gorgeous and everything. They can do the makeup. They have the baddie look. They're all just very pretty girls typically. And the guys are always, of course, supposed to be very good looking and everything. So the internet was absolutely dragging her because of her makeup and just her looks. And she was, just...
So she was ugly and they were frying her.
I think you're missing the point right now. Anyways.
Are we? That's what you just talked about for 30
No.
seconds.
I'm not saying that she's ugly. I'm saying that people online were dragging her because of her makeup.
And her... All right, sure.
I'm not saying I thought she was ugly.
I didn't say what you said. I said, are people frying her up because she's ugly?
Yes, people are frying her up because of her looks.
I was just clarifying.
All right.
You were saying that a little bit too sugary. Men might not understand what you're getting at.
Oh, my God. Anyways.
So she was ugly and they were cooking.
Let's calm down with that.
It be like that sometimes.
I think she was actually, when she didn't wear her makeup, I thought she looked very pretty. She had a very natural pretty look to her. People were really just going at her online because of the makeup that she would wear. So anyways, but that happened. That was a very popular thing around her at the time. I think outside of that, she didn't really have any more notable things. Anyways, fast forward to September 30th. Our girl Hannah was having a... You just ruined my pillow. I worked so hard on this little set.
Ma'am, keep talking.
Our girl Hannah on September 30th was at a Gracie Abrams concert. And she was...
Who's that?
Ooh, an artist. I'm sure you've heard. She has radio songs and everything. I don't think you'd hear her.
She's a radio artist. Does she make music that's always going to be on the radio?
Yes. Yeah, I'd say so. Mm-hmm. Very girly pop.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not a real adjective.
It's an adjective. People get it. You get it. You know what I mean by girly pop.
No, I don't. Girly pop just sounds like a girl.
No, there's a very poppy vibe with her. You've definitely heard her stuff on TikTok. She has a lot of TikTok songs. Everything. That's where I've started hearing a lot of her music from. You remember that trend where people were wearing these dresses and running with them? Nope, never mind. That was a TikTok trend. It was her song. I think it was the biggest one that I had ever heard from her. Anyways, our girl Hannah from Love Island is at a Gracie Abrams concert and she is doing her thing. She's having a good time, drinking, got a little bit too litty, and she was escorted out of the venue for being disorderly.
White girl wasted.
Very much, yeah. So she was escorted out of the building for being disorderly. And the cop tried to help her get into an Uber to get out of there safely.
Good guy.
And apparently, during this time, our girl was not having it.
Okay.
And she decided to attempt to punch the officer and kick the officer multiple times. So therefore... This obviously led to her being put in handcuffs and being put into the back of the police car and being taken down to be booked.
Stupid.
While in this car, yes, it does. While in this car, our girl decided that she was going to threaten to kill the officer and his sister.
Really random.
I have a lot of questions here.
Where did the sister come from?
Where did the sister come from? What did the sister do?
You probably had a picture on the dash. She was like, "Oh, she's gonna get him with this one." Yeah. Well, yeah, she fumbled all that. You can't be ugly and rude.
That's crazy. The mugshot, I will say.
You gotta pick one.
Nobody's mugshot is good. I will not hear it. Mugshots can't be good. Mugshots cannot be good.
Yes, they can.
Even the prettiest girl, I don't think you can get a good mugshot.
I don't care about men or women. You can have a mugshot it's a mugshot.
Yeah, but I think exactly. I think it's a mugshot. You can't have a cute mugshot.
I didn't say cute.
You can't have a good... You can't look good in a mugshot. If I got arrested
tomorrow and I'm not sobbing and shitting on myself in the middle of the mugshot, I'll be like, that's a solid mugshot.
Okay, fine. Well, she was drunk. Also, she had the makeup on like usual and everything too. So the mugshot was not good, and therefore I have been seeing a lot of things online. Of course, just really bringing up again the makeup and the makeup in the mugshot, and it's a bad look overall for that. So our girl actually did get charged with 2 felonies. Willful obstruction of an officer. I guess, would that be how you say that? I think that's it.
I'm not a federal agent.
So willful obstruction, everything. She, willful obstruction. Okay, can I say that again? Oh, you're not going to cut it out that way, are you?
No, I'm not going to cut it out.
Fucking kill
I'm
myself.
leaving all this in, too. Family just watched you on the big screen saying you were going to off yourself.
Okay. Charged with 2 felonies, willful obstruction, and terroristic threats.
Terroristic threats is funny.
Yeah. When I first heard this story last night, it said terroristic threats, and I said, what on earth did she do?
You think she came home and seen she was getting fried online, and it hurt her feelings, and she got drunk and went to this concert, and this is what it resulted in?
No, I don't think that timeline lines up.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
Because this happened, the reunion, she was kicked off like middle to like early in the season. She was voted off, and then the reunion happened. All of that goes on, and then September 30th. Yeah, so then September 30th is when this concert happened. So that's recent and everything. That's a couple weeks ago and everything. So September 30th happens. That's the concert. And actually, we didn't really get all of this information until the last couple of days. So we're late on this. Our girl got bailed out of jail the next day and was posting on Instagram as if nothing happened. And then now all of this information is starting out. And I think I saw the first video about it yesterday. And since then, this new information, such as the Gracie Abrams concert, the specifics on what happened, that has all just recently been coming out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think our girls had some time to marinate in it, and we're just the last to find out. So,
before we move on to the next topic, Love is Blind, Love Island, all them shits. I'd like to go on record to say the same thing that these kids are watching, like Aiden Ross, Speed, Neon, Jack Doherty, all those streamers and stuff that's ruining the youth that we all collectively hate. All that's the same thing, but for us young 20 adults. I'd like y'all to know that. All those are just idiotic brain rot shows. By all means, get your fix, though. I mean,
I think reality show.
I'll never stop somebody. No, reality shows were pure one time. You ever heard of
Jersey Shore? Yeah, like Jersey Shore.
But nah, Jersey Shore wasn't that bad. Also, Jersey Shore wasn't like the way these shows are shot now. The people they're getting, like you could tell these people, like on Jersey Shore, you could tell the cast was like real life idiots. Like you can go and watch their interviews, and they're like, "Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I just came and auditioned or whatever, got an interview, and then they told me to come on." I was like, "Hell yeah!" These people are on it purposefully for clout. So the type of people that you're getting is way different. No, I have not watched one single episode. I've seen clips. I've seen it in passing whenever she's watching it. It's very easy to gather what's going on. It's not. But I'm never going to stop
My
somebody
girl,
from being an addict,
Serena, is a college graduate.
Nobody
Excuse
cares.
you.
Nobody cares.
Love
Go use that
them.
degree. Netflix ain't helping you.
What was one of them? One of the guys, not Cordell. Kendall. Kendall was one of... Oh. I told you a little bit about Kendall's situation. What happened with him. That sucks.
They got him bent. It's a double on. Don't worry about it.
No, but Kendall's like... I think he's currently still doing like his nursing program. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. They got lives. They got things going on.
Then don't go on Netflix.
Love Island USA wasn't as big. Excuse me. Love Island USA isn't as big as Love Island UK.
As the ones over the wall. As the ones over the wall.
Bloody bottle of water.
That's what you watch it with the family every Tuesday over the wall.
Cancelled.
They have cool accents. I don't. So they're cooler than me.
I was going to ask something that we shouldn't ask because that would get us canceled.
Okay. I'm not the one with brand deals. I got nothing to lose.
I do. I don't want to do that.
So.
Yeah. But that's a lot. That's essentially the wrap up on that whole situation, I think.
Okay.
So you actually
Next
mentioned something. Who were the Twitch streamers that you mentioned? Not Twitch. I think
Kick.
that was
I said Aiden
Jordy?
Ross, streamer, Jack Doherty,
Jack Doherty.
Neon.
Okay, Jack Doherty.
Yeah.
That's the kid that crashed his
That kid's a
McLaren,
loser.
right?
Yes.
Let's discuss that. So I saw the
Is that one of your
TikTok
topics?
purely,
Is that one of your topics?
It wasn't, but it is now.
All right.
So what's his name? Jack Doherty?
Jack Doherty.
Jack Doherty. So again, I see Kai's stuff a lot. And then you tell me a lot of like streamer stuff, but me personally, I don't really have any knowledge on the streaming world besides the few things I see that are just like so viral that they get to me, or things that Dylan tells me, of course. So for me, I'm pretty clueless about who he was. What I saw though was on TikTok, somebody talking about this kid who was filming himself in his car while it was like raining and storming, and he was driving his McLaren, and his friend was filming him, and his friend is filming him texting and driving. Friend/cameraman is texting. I'm saying it from my perspective though. Like to me, I'm just seeing this rich kid driving his McLaren, and his friend is filming him in the car. That's all it looks like to me. And his friend is filming him while he's texting and driving at high speeds on like a highway, it looked like, while it is storming quite badly outside. At least it looked like from the video. And in the video, while he's texting and driving, he then accelerates and wrecks into another vehicle, I believe.
No.
What happened?
He hydroplaned and hit
okay. So he ended up hydroplaning, losing control of the vehicle, crashed, and then the next thing I see in this video is it cuts to him being pulled out of the car, and he is telling the cameraman to get the right angle and to keep filming it. And of course, this has him under complete fire right now.
Not the first time.
Yeah, this has him under complete fire from what I could see. A lot of people are saying that he, of course, needs to be banned from streaming platforms, as well as have criminal charges brought against him, was the specific way that the video I watched ended. So I think that would be interesting, because I know you have some more lore about who he is that I don't know.
Every backstory is not lore.
Everything is lore.
You
Girly Pops!
You people. No, I mean, this kid's just a loser. A lot of these kick streamers, a lot of these big kick streamers anyway, these guys are losers. But yeah, Jack Doherty, I mean, he's just, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was like recruiting girls who were like fresh out of high school to start like OnlyFans. Yeah. And he's kind of like doing the whole like manager role, which he's younger than us, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this kid's like 20.
So like while they were still like underage, he would be talking to them.
I did not say that. That is a crazy accusation. I said fresh out of high school. That is a big difference.
Okay.
And then obviously he's taking a cut off of it because he's putting them on with clout and all that shit. Which, I mean, if you're looking at it from a making money perspective, it's a genius move to make money, but just weird.
Yeah.
And unnecessary. And then he was just, doing a lot of degenerate stuff on stream, like starting fights with people. As well as I'm sure a lot of people out there, you've probably seen a clip of this white kid like walking around in public, like his arms like really like wide, looking like an idiot, and then bumping into people, like throwing his shoulder into people on purpose,
I forgot about
and
that.
then literally getting behind his security whenever these people press him. Yeah, that's him. The kid's he's just a loser. I mean, I don't even have to use colorful words. Literally, he's just a loser. Like, why are you doing this stuff? So, yeah, I love to see the downfall. He's already on TikTok because he got banned off Kick permanently.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's already on TikTok Live, Instagram.
Oh my god.
Live streaming and doing stuff like that. Again, if you're following and your revenue is not built off of brand deals, you can't be canceled. If you're getting direct community support, whether it's through merch, whether it's through paywalls, whatever it is, you can't be canceled. So he'll still be around. I'm sure he'll find his way on Kick or go over to Rumble or something. So
that's crazy. Crazy the people that like get platforms a lot of the time, especially people like that. Okay, I feel like actually talking about that leads us perfectly to my next topic. So because of my recent success over this last year on TikTok, I have had the opportunity to work with a lot of different brands. And in my industry, I've come to learn we handle sponsorships and brand deals very differently than apparently everyone else. So I think I wanted to kind of just talk about the difference between like how my industry typically goes about working with brands and sponsorships versus what has apparently become the norm for everybody else.
Mm,
Was that not
I can't say everybody else.
What
I
do you
can just
mean?
say my field
Your
or
field?
my industry.
Okay.
I can't say everybody. I wouldn't be able to say how it works with tech
Okay.
and sports. I can only speak from a gaming / streaming perspective.
So I'm gonna explain like how my industry usually works. So my industry, again, I'm mainly speaking on the hair industry here, but I do feel like a lot of this also does lead into just like the beauty industry as a whole. I do feel like this kind of leads into the beauty industry as a whole, though. So essentially, how this would work for creators or hairstylists who are posting these things is we essentially will need to use these brands first and actively try to get their attention and seek them out by posting videos and photos of us constantly using their products and essentially giving them this like free marketing and having them, just hoping that they will eventually reach out to us. Everything. So, for instance, one of my favorite brands in the world that I have worked with many times now. I posted them for about 3 years straight, and I remember the first time that they commented and liked one of my photos. I sent it to everybody at the hair salon. I was so excited. I posted on my Instagram story. Them simply liking and commenting on one of my photos was like, oh my gosh, because at this point I had posted them 20 times over. I had been recommending them to all of my clients, essentially just giving them this free marketing, and them just giving me a like and a comment and then eventually following me back and then eventually getting to the point where they're posting my photos and my work. This was all just so amazing. And, of course, 3 years later, this has now led to me working with them and being, having paid like deals with them. And of course, I'm very blessed and I do love this brand. But that to me in my industry is very normal. And this is a very much like a rinse and repeat situation. So I did it with them. I'm going to do it with the color brands that I work with. I'm going to do it with the tools I do. It's very much like we need to use this first. We need to show it. And then hopefully eventually they will now come to us. And then how does it work in your industry? Because you've been told me it's very different.
So I started streaming. So for anybody who doesn't know what streaming is, it's pretty much just playing a video game live. I started in 2016, so it's been 8 years. So I've been doing it for a while. That's how I got my start with graphic design, the whole nine. So I've worked on the front end and back end on small and medium scales for like brand deals and things like that. Honestly, the difference in industries is in your industry, it's more so I'm going to chase the brand until they notice me.
Yeah, definitely.
In my industry, it's more so I'm going to become good enough / big enough to the point where the brand will come to me. Which, I guess now I think about it, if I think about it in an overly deep sense, one is a woman-led industry, one is a men-led industry, and I wonder if that could be like a prideful thing. Now I'm thinking about it. Because I'm sure when you saying that and when I get done saying my piece, a lot of women are going to be like, well, if you really want to work with the brand, why wouldn't you do this, this, and this, and this? Do anything you can to get this brand to work with you. But I can see from a certain lens that makes sense, but also at the same time, why would I want to chase you? Please, 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 please work with me. And then I'm good enough to the point where they can say, I think we want to work with you.
I think a big thing there is, first, I think it's not necessarily that we are genuinely chasing them. I feel like a big part of it is
posting over and over again and tagging them. That is chasing.
Well, but it's not like we're like going out of our way to like do buy these things and use these things specifically to get this brand's attention. Most of the time it is we are genuinely already using these products. Like genuinely, I was already using this brand and recommending this brand. And eventually when I started posting about it, then of course I'm going to tag the brand that I'm already using and recommending because I've already done my own research and I already love this product that they have. So I feel like a lot of the time
That's the chasing part. The chasing part isn't buying the product. That's not the chasing part.
No, but I feel like we're already genuinely using it. So then if I have a client, if I have somebody like be like, oh, I love your top, I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I got it from this place, everything. It's already a top I liked and everything. And somebody just asked me about what I'm using. So therefore I am recommending it to them. That of course is therefore giving this brand free marketing, but in the sense of sharing it with the Girly Pops and sharing it with the people who are interested in it, and me personally sharing it with my clients, it is free marketing for them. But to me, it's just me sharing the thing that works well or the thing I already like.
Those are not the same though.
How so?
Because I mean, somebody asking you about your top and you telling them where you got it from and you posting and tagging, you're going out of your way.
Well, because
nobody's making you or nobody's asking you to tag this company. You're tagging them already. And that's what I'm saying. That's what people used to do back then. People used to do that in the gaming community. Mm-hmm. I love G Fuel, yada yada yada. Get this, the BOGO, yada yada. But that just leads to predatory sponsorships.
Yeah, that was a big thing that you told me about too.
Anybody out there, if they're in, take it with a grain of salt. I've worked with brands. I've done brand deals with some of the biggest companies. And I haven't done brand deals. I've worked on brand deals, video brand deals with some of the biggest companies in the gaming industry, whether it's G Fuel, whether it's Battle Beaver, whether it is Steel Series, Activision, Psyonix. That mentality leads to predatory sponsorships, which they're not sponsorships. If I'm not mistaken, they call them what I said they call affiliates in my industry. They call didn't you say they call sponsorships?
A lot of time they're considered sponsorships or collaborations.
So back then, you take y'all's method and you post and you. I'm not gonna say what I call it, but you chase, and then they'll come to you and they'll be like, "Hey, so we'll give you product A, and." You post it, you'll get your own code. If somebody buys from us, you'll get 15% of the cut. And you can get it for a 30% discount. I'm going off of numbers because actually a company just hit me up a few days ago. But I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's predatory. I don't get almost anything for it. They're not, especially if they're not sending you product. If they're making you buy something to advertise their product, and you get a measly penny to the dollar cut, and you don't see a problem with that, good luck, Charlie. Because what are we looking at? That's crazy.
I definitely think towards the beginning for like...
You shouldn't even want that in the first place.
I mean, I think towards the beginning with micro-influencers and just people who like... Because when a micro-influencer, I don't know the specific numbers on it, but like I'm considered a micro-influencer. I have under 50K followers. I have
micro-influencer?
That's a big thing. You haven't heard of micro-influencer, really? That's a very big thing in the... Because there's TikTok, I guess, yeah, and everything. I've heard it on YouTube and like other things, though. I've seen like... I'm no fair.
I've worked in big company marketing, sure, yeah. And I've never heard micro-influencer.
I've seen brands advertise to micro-influencers as well, though. Okay. So I've seen it a part of like a brand's like marketing strategy. Exactly. Yeah, I know. And I think that's exactly the point there is a lot of these brands, especially towards the beginning, when I first started posting these photos and videos with that original brand, I had under 1,000 followers at the time and everything. I had 700 followers, 600 followers at different points. I was actively trying to grow my hair account. So when they simply would like my photo, they would simply do these things though. And eventually a year and a half, 2 years into it, they finally reach out to me and are like, hey, yeah, we would love for you to be a part of our affiliate program. You'll get a discount code for 20% off. You'll be able to make a little bit of money off of it. I have a video in my Snapchat to this day of me literally screaming in my car because I was so excited about that.
Oh, everybody remembers their first
Yeah,
video.
I was so excited about that. Even though I ended up, by the way, never used that and everything. I never used it.
Well,
everything.
you got to think. If you're a business, right? Let's say I'm selling this.
I think it's very brilliant from their perspective.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's predatory.
Yeah.
In a predatory relationship, one of them always benefits. That's why it's predatory.
Okay.
So I'm saying if I'm selling this bottle of water for $20 and I come to you and say, hey, if you buy this bottle of water off me, you'll get it for $15. It cost me $2 to make this. $18 in profit. You get it. 15. I net $13, whatever. Not doing the math. $12. Then I say, hey, yeah, you want a little affiliate? You want a little code? Makes you feel all cool. And you're like, all right, bet. Yeah, we're not going to send you nothing, but you're going to buy this bottle of water, so we're going to make money off you already.
Yeah. Then
you're going to come in. You're going to get 5 people to buy it. We're going to net $60 in profit. There's different for the people out there. There's difference between revenue and profit. $60 in profit. You're going to get like $10 out of it. You benefit nothing from that.
Yeah.
Besides feeling like you did something. That's my big problem, is that I've watched somebody post a brand every day for a year. No, 2 years, actually. 2 years.
I remember who you're talking about, yeah.
And he got a G Fuel sponsorship, and then they ended up giving him his own flavor. Some of you out there are going to say, well, he did what he had to do and he got to it. I guess if that's the way you take it, if you'll take what feels like a participation award,
okay.
But you didn't really earn it. You earned it, but not fully. You didn't put out a product that was impressive enough for them to say, somebody get to him. We got to talk to him. We're going to say, we need to do something. You got to keep in mind, it's marketing. Marketing is all about tricking people damn near. So it's like, we need to do something. We need to run a sale. We need to put out a new flavor. We need to sign somebody because our interactions are low this month. Which, by the way, companies do that. This guy's been posting us for 2 years straight. You think he's going to sell anything? He might. All right, let's sign him. We need interactions. Boom, let's sign him. Again, some people out there, you'll take any win you can get. That is fine with me, by all means. A win is a win, but I would just rather take more respectable wins personally. That's just not a type of win I would want to take.
I think that's
like a shit. Ozarka.
I think that's definitely one way to think about it. I don't know. I definitely feel like you could see, posting that long and, if you genuinely have love for a brand and everything. And of course, I also think in this scenario, that person, the creator, is also in a way benefiting off of this because it's a series. Of course, I do definitely agree that the company is benefiting more from this, but to this creator,
they always benefit
more. No, of course, I'm sure. Yeah, no,
more.
I'm sure he made them way more money than they made him in return for signing on. And I mean, maybe not, but
I don't know. I just feel like majority of people that do that and it ends up working out for something, usually they're never going to be your top earners. They're never going to be in your top echelon of your sponsorships. More times than not. This particular person that I'm talking about, he wasn't pulling a lot of views. He just showed the consistency and the discipline, which I'm sure they appreciated. But like now, this is like 2 or 3 years later. Mm-hmm. I don't even think he's sponsored by them anymore.
Interesting.
But he made his whole personality that. That was what I'm saying. Literally, he had G Fuel in his name. He had shirts. That's all he wore on the stream. The whole nine. He made it his whole personality. 2 or 3 years later, the guy didn't even upload for months at a time. Like, that's usually, on average, that's usually how these things amount. Within a year or two, these people are not, they've gotten there. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? So you get there and you get the win, but you didn't take the right journey to get there. So once you get to the win, you almost get stagnant.
Okay.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. Which, again, a win is a win to certain people. Which, in certain scenarios, yeah, a win's a win to me, too. I would just...
Mm-hmm. I think he would be like, I think in one way it could show like, if it could build it to that point. It could show you the consistency. It could show you the discipline. He could grow the love for it, everything. And I would say it could almost be a bit. That was one way I was kind of taking it and everything. Maybe he purposely makes it his whole personality as a bit to try to gain this company's attention, to try to do this thing. I've seen artists who, like an actual like painting artist, who they will like draw different celebrities, and then every time, unless that celebrity like responds to them to get the artwork and everything, they cover it up and everything. But that's their bit though. They cover it up and then they paint a new artist on top of it, and they just do this over and over again. And of course the videos have, you know, thousands and thousands and millions of views and everything, so it's doing super well. And of course the thing there is, though, that is just one aspect of what he does. So this artist just has that series where he does that, and he's, you know, clout chasing and actively using people's likeness to get views and everything. However, he's also showing off his amazing, beautiful artwork, and he's also using this to promote the rest of his artwork as well. And the rest of his platform, of course, has more of his artwork in different series of things he does. So I think if you use something like that, specifically taking like G Fuel and everything and going that hard as a bit, that's one way you could propel your platform. And then you could kind of just have a brand as big of G Fuel to kind of just boost yourself at that point. You're just using their name and their likeness to promote yourself in a way. That's where I'm saying like it could be coming from. However, this guy specifically, obviously,
but the difference
he got there, fell off, and it's not.
The difference
it didn't
in journey is going to make or break that. Just because you get the sponsorship and you can propel or use them to go in whichever direction, if you don't have the formula, you're not going to make the right.
I also think
so. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I also think a big thing there is too. He just, you know, that person in particular, they just weren't built for it like that. They just.
But he could have been.
Yeah, he could have been. I agree. Everything if he had the formula.
Did certain things right. He was just too hell bent on trying to get that sponsorship, which I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
G Fuel was really popping at the time though.
Yeah.
They're kind of died down now.
And then I just think with my industry right now, it's very like we just definitely need to go out of our way to get these brands' attention and, you know, work for that and everything. I think a big thing there is going to be the micro influencer of it all. Is we are kind of just looking for those small wins. We are just hoping to kind of get these brands in who are willing to work with these smaller influencers.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, if you don't have that sponsorship, if you're not on the radar, you probably shouldn't be thinking about that. That's also one of the biggest things too.
Mm.
If you're doing really well, sure. But also most people that are taking this route haven't really amassed any of a following.
I'm just thinking about more of when YouTube was really popular before we switched over to more of the short format content. I remember influencers talking about how they weren't getting into this for the money, and how that was something that was very important for them to tell other people whenever they were starting this, is how you don't want to go into it with that, because a lot of time if you do, you're going to get burnt out, or you're going to reach your goal and then you're going to fall off because you never truly had a love for it and all these other things. And I feel like that's a big thing for like micro influencers like myself, who as we're going through, not necessarily, I'm going into it originally for more marketing my hair work and sharing different aspects of my life like that. And as time has like kind of come on and everything, brands have showed interest in it. And I just happen to be making money off of it a lot. And so I think that's a big thing there too with the micro influencer. It's not necessarily like we're going out of our way to make money from it, I guess. Is
that's
that true?
Actually the polar opposite.
Yeah, I was like, is that true? I mean, we're making money from it in a different way though, or maybe that didn't make sense.
No, you're
Does
making
that not
money
make sense?
from it because you're trying to make money from it. This whole thing is trying to get something out of it.
Huh?
Huh?
What'd you say?
What happened?
Feel like I was betrayed.
I wonder if I could take that clip from Martin. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Where he goes, "Yo, fella!" Add it in there.
I don't remember that one. I love watching Martin with you. Let's calm down.
You were on Martin because I put you on Martin.
I agree and everything. I'd watched Martin like a couple times. You know what I want to watch again? Boondocks. I feel like we haven't watched Boondocks in like
I'm all right. We're gonna start off with a light
year or
one,
two.
though. Speaking of Boondocks,
we're
gonna start off with a light one. So there's a video going on Twitter, maybe even TikTok. You probably have seen it.
Okay.
So somebody was getting married. It was a wedding.
Okay.
And And best man of the groom, he was crying as the bride was coming down the aisle.
Uh-oh.
Not
like
groom.
A brother or anything?
Well, we don't know.
Okay.
Not the groom. The best man was crying while the bride was walking down the aisle. How do you feel about that?
I feel like we need more context, for sure. Because, like, what if it's her brother? I feel like my family would be quite emotional. Actually, just kidding. All of my brothers would probably not give much of a fuck.
That is a very low chance.
Okay.
But speaking to, like, every situation outside of that one, which I'm sure it's not that.
Okay.
That's weird, dog. Why are you crying? Okay. Seeing my wife walk down.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit weird.
I agree. I think it's definitely strange. Well,
I've seen
what if
stranger things.
I've seen stranger things. And for today's sponsor,
Imagine we wouldn't be
Stranger
here.
Things Pizza. Let's talk about it.
Chill out. Too soon.
I'm sorry.
That's insane.
I'm sorry. Okay, too close to home right now. No, but actually though, I think we do need more context for sure. But just basing it off of what we have right now, the husband wasn't crying?
No.
Okay.
Not the little thug tear. No, he was.
Unless this is like a best friend, like they've like childhood friends kind of situation, or they're brother and sister or something. Yeah, no, I could say that it's a little, what are you doing there, buddy?
There's no excuse. Unless that is for whatever reason her brother. He just might be an emotional
guy. He might be really in touch with his feelings. He might be an empath.
Unless that is her brother, and I'll barely let you slide by on that.
No, I feel like brother.
But also, what's likelihood of the best man being the groom's brother?
I feel like
the bride's brother.
I feel like that could be common and everything. I feel like
the best man.
Yeah, I feel like
that's not common.
They might be really close.
That's a very minority percentage.
Okay.
Of that situation.
Okay, let's say that he's not related to her, that they're not best friends.
Well, yeah, that's how you're initially supposed to.
Well, because I feel like we're missing a lot of context and it would only make sense for him to cry if these were the circumstances. If these aren't the circumstances and he's crying and the groom himself isn't even crying, then I can understand where people would start to draw those conclusions. Like he's like over here.
Best friend.
Oh.
He always wanted to be with her. He's watching her.
I read a lot of books, so.
All right, moving on.
Not moving on. I read a lot of books.
Get into the books.
We love a lot of second chance.
I hope you know, ladies. A lot of us guys,
friends to lovers.
A lot of us guys, we know the games y'all play.
Right person, wrong time.
Y'all some freaks. Y'all some freak ass frogs. We know about y'all.
Boyfriend's best friend.
BDSM. Y'all some freaks. We know about y'all. You know, one time,
the first time
I came home late.
What?
And it was dark in here.
My family watches this podcast.
And I opened up the door, and it was Verity.
Oh my god, I was so worried about where you were going with that. That is such a good one.
All right, so
Dylan doesn't like any of my books. Really, he doesn't really care to hear about many of them. He'll indulge me, but he doesn't necessarily like to listen to my book stuff. He feels like I read the same shit over and over again, which fair. But I'm just a girl, and I love my books. Okay, I'm just a girly pop, and I love my books.
What is up with the camera hitting record and all of a sudden you keep saying girly pop? You don't say this in the day-to-day.
Because I love...
Put that facade down. Be
There's
Christian.
not a facade. I say girly pop.
This is not very girly pop of you. You don't say it like that.
And her name was Verity.
But moving on.
I didn't even to finish what I was saying. One book that I described to Dylan like 3 years ago, though, was this book by Colleen Hoover. I was in a phase. This book by Colleen Hoover called Verity. And I described to him the story, and it is a very complicated, detailed story. And our girl Verity does some weird shit.
Okay? Colleen Hoover hit the women's streets like crack hit the 80s. She was everywhere.
Oh no,
during that time.
she for sure. Yeah, she was the it of it, the it girl of it.
I was calling her y'all's Kanye.
Colleen Hoover was to 2021 what John Green was to like 2015, 2014.
So like R.L. Stein to like 1999. So speaking of Verity, going into the next topic, I haven't seen this anywhere. I just kind of started thinking about it like 2 weeks ago. I've talked about it on stream a few times. I don't know where it came from. I just kind of thought about it. Do you think that somebody with a platform or a following, so an influencer of some sort, maybe they influence things possibly, do you think they have to speak on recent events going on and try and make change? Do you think it is their responsibility? Now, I could go first if you wanted me to.
I definitely think
that's a moment to think about it.
I definitely think that's a really good question. Just like, I think I might want you to like elaborate more on yours, but I think just immediate first impressions on that. I think it is hard to expect somebody who genuinely doesn't have knowledge on something to have to be the one to educate other people. I feel like if somebody is ignorant on something, we shouldn't expect this person to have to inform other people on something that they don't fully understand. Of course, I do think that there's more to go into with that. But for now, that's just like that's my immediate first thoughts hearing that question is if somebody doesn't know what they're talking about, I think it could be more harmful for them to speak on it and have to educate their followers and their people who also possibly don't know anything about the topic. Or there are people who do know something about that topic and this person tells them something or, puts out this information, and then these people who know something or these people are going to come and correct them and be like, actually, you're lying. What you're doing is way more harmful, and it just could have a really bad backlash there. That's immediately where my brain takes me. Obviously, I know that there's more to come with that, and I'm going to further that, but I would like to hear what you have to say more about it first.
Yes, what you were pretty much saying, it would be the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm saying, I look at it as if I woke up tomorrow with 5 million followers, fuck it. On every platform, I got 5 million followers. So I have big reach, big engagement. I can really influence things. I don't think just because we're in election time right now, I should have to endorse somebody. Everybody doesn't want to be an MLK. Everybody doesn't want to be a Malcolm X. I'm one of them. I don't want to go and take a stand for something. I'm here to entertain people and keep it at that. I'm not here to change people's lives. I'm not here to, I am here to purposely inspire people, but that's more of like a chasing your dream standpoint, not from a activist standpoint. I don't think everybody should have to be an activist. I don't think everybody should be an activist. I don't think we should want everybody to be an activist. Yeah, keep in mind, even though you watch somebody, you don't know these people.
Oh, that's a big thing. Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Just because so-and-so endorses so-and-so, I don't think anybody should have to do that. Like, it sounds crazy to me. Somebody like, you have a platform. Why don't you use your voice? Maybe I don't want to. Why are you following me? You're not following me for me to endorse somebody. You're following me because I entertained you to some extent, and that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Because me personally, if I got to follow, I'm not trying to stand up for something. Because I feel like it would be forced. There's only been one time I've ever really was like, I think I might really have to get out there. And I think it was vote, which that was for the Roe v. Wade thing. Mm-hmm. That was the only time I've ever was like, yo, that's insane. I might actually, in my head, I was like, I'm still not going out to vote. But I was like, that's crazy. I might actually have to. But outside of that, yeah, I think expecting that from people that you don't know is crazy.
So I definitely think that, I don't even know. I'm trying to figure out how to like say what I'm thinking. I definitely think that people who have influential positions, I think they obviously can make a very big impact. And I do think that it can be something that I don't know. I have a hard time thinking about it, honestly. I can really see both sides on it a lot. is I can definitely see like somebody who is in an influencer who has an impact on
influential.
Yeah, influential. There you go.
Okay.
That was the word. Who has an impactful English? Hello? Send help? Anyways.
English is my worst subject.
Who has an impact on other people, who has some kind of influence out there. I definitely think in a way, since they do have an audience, it definitely can be something where they can make an impact and everything. They can, if they want to, like, like put a link out there where people can donate and everything. I definitely think that is very helpful. But the responsibility necessarily, no, I don't think it's their responsibility. I'm trying to think about it really, because I'm trying to figure out like my true opinion on it. Because again, I can really see both sides of it. And I would love to hear more arguments about it, I think, because I feel like that could definitely like sway me one way or the other more. But just right now, I'm thinking that it's not their responsibility. The same way that I feel like just because you share aspects of your life, like, for instance, sharing, hair stuff online, doesn't mean I have to share my relationship. It doesn't mean I have to share my relationship because I'm sharing hair stuff, and say I go viral and I'm going viral for just my like hair stuff and being a hairstylist and everything. That doesn't mean I need to share. I'm not expected. Nobody really is going to expect me just being a hairstylist to have to share any of my personal relationships at all. But to then take that and be like, yeah, well, you're doing this and you're sharing your lifestyle and everything, but we are also going to now expect you to share your political views and share this and everything too. I think in the same vein right there, there shouldn't be an expectation there. You shouldn't have to make them do that unless that's something that they want to do or they're comfortable doing. I also feel like if this is something that naturally is a part of them and their platform, then I do feel like they've already invited that question in there. And I think that could kind of come to it. Everything is, if this is already something that you are actively putting out there, if you are actively, showing yourself to be somebody who is very political and who's very big about, certain people's rights and everything, then I do think you do naturally lead to those questions there. But I feel like if that has never been a part of them, that has never been a part of their platform that they've shared, then I don't think it's their responsibility to know.
No, everybody doesn't have to be an activist.
Yeah.
I don't see why anybody. If somebody doesn't want to come forward and take a stand on something, why would you want to force them?
Yeah. I just kind of thought about, it's kind of random, honestly. I think it was Kanye who was talking about something, and it's a trending sound on TikTok. That's how I know it, by the way. It was like Gaga. I like Gaga. But she's like the co-founder of Polaroid. What the fuck does she know about? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Everything.
Not co-founder, it's like head of marketing.
Yeah, she's something like that, though. What the fuck does she know? Like, I think that's... I thought of that when you said that, so I thought it was funny.
What does she know about taking pictures? You didn't finish that.
Is that how it goes?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't remember this.
Is that taking pictures or cameras?
Yeah, see, I thought it was something like that too. But like the way he finished it though, I thought about that whenever you said that, funny enough. And honestly, like,
Speaking of Kanye.
Great segue. Look who joined us. Can we pause real quick?
The cats are always gonna be.
I know, but look at her. She's just a little baby. Oh, she's such a lover girl. She is.
But speaking of Kanye, which this is a great transition, a lot of the conversation going on Twitter, I'll never call it X, by the way, it's stupid, has Drake fallen off? So, for any of you older folk out there who don't have time to deal with any of this, which fair enough, if you don't know who Drake is, I'm sorry to hear that. That's insane.
You've probably heard of him.
Kendrick, fair. Nobody listens to him in real life. Just dumb, want to be smart people.
All right, that's crazy.
No, I like Kendrick, but like, yeah. Nah, you know what I mean? I can give you an excuse if you don't know who Kendrick is. So the whole beef went on, yada yada. Kendrick dropped Not Like Us. Sure, you've heard it somewhere. Which also, I think it just crossed the longest #1 rap song on Billboard for 21 weeks.
Yeah. I wonder what it was before.
Might be something by Drake. Probably not, actually. It's probably some other bullshit, like a Blueface song or some random shit. Just like this song is a bullshit song.
Kind of crazy.
It is a bullshit song.
I don't think it's a bullshit song. I understand like where he was coming
if
from.
Drake came out and said something, if
talking.
Drake came out and said something as corny as OV ho, y'all wouldn't have let him hear the end of it.
I remember
if he said something like other vaginal option, y'all wouldn't have let him hear the end of it.
The cackle's kind of funny. No, I mean, like, there was definitely parts of it that were goofy for sure. I think a lot of with that song, like, we talked about this originally. Like, I remember night one, sitting in the kitchen, listening to it. And the point of it was definitely supposed to be like, oh, yeah, I can do the fun shit, too. Like, I can make a fucking hit. Everything. That was the point of it for the most part. And everything was, I can also make the hit. I can put the beat down and everything the same way you can. And I mean, that's what it was. I mean, we talked about this night one.
I know, I was just saying put the beat down.
Oh.
I don't know what that means exactly.
I don't know. He can put a beat and have it be like, ooh, I can dance to this. It can be a club song. Like, see, so I think that was a lot of what it was supposed to be, was compared to what a lot of the songs from him had been during the beef and everything. You know,
Ooh.
Kendrick. Everything. A lot of his songs at that point weren't necessarily like, you know, dancey vibes. Push-Ups has a very distinct, like, you know, not dancey vibe, but like the beat is there. Like, you're definitely like listening to the beat like, ooh, okay. Like, there's definitely like one of those moments to it. Anyways, I felt like with this one, it was supposed to purposely be a bit more of like a club moment for it and everything. There was supposed to be like a bit more of a beat, like more of a dancey kind of vibe to it. It was supposed to be just catchy. But also, within that song, it's still fucking Kendrick. So, of course, he's still going into detail. He's still giving, you know, like, more depth to it. There's a lot more depth to it. So, I don't think it's just a fun song. Obviously, there's
verse.
Yeah, so there's obviously parts of it that are just like, oh, V-ho. Like, you know, there's obviously those parts of it and everything. But I also think even with him doing something that's supposed to be kind of more top service catchy, he's still Kendrick in it, and so I don't think it's just a goofy song that has no substance to it.
It doesn't have any substance to it. That's the whole point.
I disagree. Hence the explanation I just gave.
What part of it wasn't top level surface?
I feel like
the Atlanta verse that he said.
I mean, yeah, that, and there's definitely like some. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but
because he didn't really say anything else aside of the Atlanta verse. The rest of it was pretty catchy, but in terms of verses.
My brain's not working. Atlanta verse was... The Atlanta verse is definitely the biggest part I can think of.
Which also...
calling us some slaves and...
Alright. Yeah, like Drake needs Atlanta, but sure. Speaking of Atlanta and trap music, a fellow black king on the internet, also known as Dean, who was on Jubilee, I think. Was it Jubilee? He's on one of those media company videos that people love, where it was like a 20v1 or something. He was debating a whole bunch of Democrats, Republicans, or something like that. He was debating an opposite viewing party.
Is this the white kid?
Yeah. Whoa. He is a black king. Dean is a black king.
What do you mean?
He's black. What do you mean? What do I mean?
How is he black? I could have sworn the kid that had... Was he black? I could have sworn I was looking at a white boy with blonde hair and blue eyes.
No.
Okay, maybe we're thinking of a different video.
No. He's right there. He said, I think I might actually be black. Somebody said, why is that? He said, just the way I act, I feel very natural and comfortable saying the N-word and stuff. Dean's a black king. I will have the picture of him on the screen. I'm sure you've seen this kid recently. So Bryce Hall has been exposing this kid for things that he said.
Oh, okay.
Another loser on the internet, Bryce Hall. So it's kind of funny. It's always funny seeing a loser expose somebody else. It's like, even though it's coming from you and it's good information, we don't want to hear from you.
I never had
the calls come from inside the house.
The calls are coming from the guys.
Like we don't want to see that.
I never really knew Bryce Hall stuff before. I had no idea what he looked like or anything.
He was the original TikTok.
Yeah. I never saw him really. Like, he was just never in my algorithm. I never had him, everything. So I never really saw his face before. I think maybe I had once or something and I just never knew who he was or something, but he didn't look familiar. I recently saw him. Mm-hmm. And when I say I was so surprised that that's what he looked like, because I had been seeing things before about like who this guy was and the girls he was messing with and all these other things. I remember seeing him for the first time and be like, that's who y'all are.
He looks like a regular Chad White dude.
He wasn't attractive to me in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I'm not saying that I would ever like be like he would ever be attracted to me either, but like I'm just like I was surprised.
I hate when people do that shit. I hate that.
Why?
Or somebody be like, I don't think you're very attractive. That's fine. She don't want you anyway. That's not the point. Oh, that's like saying you're dumb. No, you're dumb. Oh, okay. Like what? People, you beat me to the punch.
Yeah.
I hate that. People do that all the time. Like, yeah, it's okay. You're ugly, and they're like, it's fine. I wouldn't want you anyway. That's irrelevant.
That's a
really I already said that.
Common thing.
So thank you.
There's
but anyway, that was a random side tangent.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dean. Back to Dean. From Verity.
Yes.
To Drake. To Atlanta to Dean. So.
Yes.
So Dean was saying the N-word, and it seems to come out that, which, that's whatever. It seems to come out that he was also doing a how to get rich course to where he allegedly pulled $250K worth of revenue in during the whole red pill thing like 2 years ago. He was selling a how to get rich course, and he was like, yeah, I'm sitting in my car, got $4,000 on my lap, really flexing. I don't even think this is something really to indulge in. It's just be careful who y'all make popular on the internet. Which I'm not calling for him to get canceled. I hate pulling up old stuff and trying to cancel people for now. I will say 2 or 3 years ago, that's still in your credit history. Yeah. You can still get hit for that. But like going back to like early 2010s and pulling stuff from there and trying to cancel people now, we just live in a different world, man. Like if you're watching this, honestly, it doesn't matter at what age. If you're watching this, your parents were probably shitty people back in the day because the world was just different then. The world is much different now. We look at things a lot differently now. If you're anywhere around my age, we were saying things that can't be said today. Am I a shitty person because I was saying something that was relevant and that was normalized during the time? No. So why can't we go back on the internet and cancel somebody for saying something? Unless it's crazy. There is certain things you can't say. But I'm saying if we go on somebody's Twitter and they're saying the N-word, I mean, all right, but also it says you gotta keep in mind, if that's in 2012, that is 12 years ago. I was 11 12 years ago. You know how much of a different person I am now? I got Facebook posts coming up in my memories from shit I was saying then. I'm a different person. From, obviously a kid to being an adult. But I'm saying majority of people that are getting canceled, 12 years ago, they're probably in their 20s. You're a much different person. You grow. You see things. You can change. Why can't you change? That's only my annoyance with canceling people for old stuff like that. Why can't you change?
With, what's his name, Dean?
Young Black King, Dean.
With Dean specifically, if we're going to go that route with, like, people can change and everything, clearly he's educated himself.
He said that, too. He posted a lot of links. He's like, I educated myself. Why can't you?
Yeah, like, if we're going to go that route with it and everything, clearly he's educated himself. Clearly he now has very different views, and he's kind of gone out of his way now to kind of balance out back then, because, of course, what he got popular from, what we all know him from and everything, the political debate. He originally did the 20v1 for a Republican or a Trump supporter debating Trump supporter debating 20 Democrats, and then he did very well in that video. He held himself very nicely, as from what I remember.
That's not the inverse. He's not a Trump supporter.
No, I know.
Also,
I'm saying
I don't want to say Trump.
Because, okay. I can redo that part then.
Camera's overheating, so.
Okay. Originally, he debated. Originally he was a part of the first video, which was one Republican debates 20 Democrats. That was the original video. He held himself very well in that one, so therefore they took him from that, and he was the one Democrat debating 20 Republicans. And a lot of people had different opinions on that. For the most part, people think he also held himself very well in that one as well. Hence the platform he's now received since then. So I do say that, if we're going to go the route of people change and, people grow, and of course with us canceling people, it's usually with the idea that they need to educate themselves. They need to grow and become better people. That's usually the hope with it. At least that's what people say. It's the hope with it and everything. So, I mean, I guess giving them room to grow and become better people. What?
That's what I thought about. I was like, bruh, if I was...
I've thought about shit that I had said when I was a kid that would get me canceled now. Luckily, there's not much, but...
Can you imagine getting canceled by a selective group of people, and then they're the reason why you lose everything, and now you want me to get educated and change for your group? Isn't that kind of crazy to think about? Y'all just fucked up my whole life because of how I feel. And now you want me to educate myself and change to...
I've never thought about that.
Anyway, that's pretty funny.
I've never thought about that before. That is.
Yeah, Karen's about to overheat, but also we're wrapping it up. But also we're not... Are we going to do an outro? Or I kind of... Because honestly...
we need to do something.
Honestly, I kind of just wanted to fade in mid-conversation. Like, fade in. Like, literally, while you're doing the thing, or I went first, didn't I? Like, literally, I just wanted to fade in while I'm in the middle of talking. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to just flow in and out. Mm.
I feel like we've had something.
But I guess for the first one, we can just do outro. Yeah. So this is, honestly, this might be like an hour and a half, hour 40. That is not my goal. My goal is to sit around an hour to an hour 20, because I think that's a long enough time for you to go do something and listen. But... yeah, we're going to have more stuff on the way.
Yeah,
not
still
really too
figuring
much.
Things out right
now. We
have
these conversations off camera, so I just had the random idea to do it on camera. So we're not overcommitting to anything. But if you did enjoy it, wherever you're seeing this at, I'm assuming if you're watching this, actually this is not going to be a clip, so you'd be seeing this on YouTube. So subscribe to this new channel. Make sure you like the video. Comment down below whether you like to take, you hated to take, what we should talk about next, why we shouldn't make another video, why we should make another video, whatever it is. But if you did make it to the end, comment.
Girly Pop.
Yep, I'm cutting it off that. I'm so tired of fucking hearing fucking Girly Pop. Get the fuck out
That's
of here.
funny.
Oh my god.
Cheers.
Get the hell out of here.
Cheers, Autumn. Autumn, would you like to say something to the camera? Oh my god. So right, girl.